This time on Kawaii-Fi Radio, Kenny needs a coffee.
Let's just go down to a...
We're not going down to the shops to get a coffee. Like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the desire to go get caffeine.
Maybe we can call for help.
We debunked flat Earth theory. It's shaped like an anime girl.
Earth-chan!
Earth-chan isn't flat.
Earth-chan is not flat. And we check out the 2024 summer anime season. Do you like the shogunate and diabolical political intrigue?
A little bit.
Do you like running away?
Yeah.
The elusive samurai is for you!
Ava launch!
Tetsuo! Kaneda!
Oni-chan?
It's over 9,000! Nani?
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi Radio!
Konnichiwa and welcome. You tune in to Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast we dive in the world of anime and manga and otaku culture. The world of anime, apparently now. I'm Kyle. With me is Tifa and Kenny. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This episode, new anime season's here.
Whoop, whoop. Well,
It's mid. No, I'm kidding. Gonna get all the hate in the comments straight away.
fight me in the comments.
No. Look, there are some interesting gems this season. It's not as shonen heavy as the past few seasons. It's not
a
as
bit-
packed.
It's a bit isekai
It's a bit isekai heavy, yeah.
Yes,
But there are some that actually do look quite interesting, and we did kind of give it a bit of a rough beating last episode. We're like, yeah, it doesn't look that good. No, it's actually not as bad as we thought. Now that some of the trailers are
now
out.
we've seen a bunch of the trailers, we
Yeah.
know for sure that a bunch of them are rough as guts, and a few of them are actually surprisingly interesting looking.
As in, like, you know, Buster Sword guts, like, you know.
No.
So, look, as we do every season, the team has all picked out 2 shows from the new season. That means we've got 12 shows to talk to you about. That's from shonen to josei to comedy to gag to light novels and manga to game adaptations. The whole lot. There's a wide breadth of it. So, look, join us as we kind of dip into that. Before we do get stuck into it, if you're new to the podcast, hello. Welcome to all our regular listeners. Hope you're all doing well. We're also on YouTube if you're watching us there. Hello, hi. And if you're enjoying what we're doing, we do have a Patreon as well.
Ugh, why would you watch something on YouTube when you could watch it on TikTok?
Oh, because you don't
Just
like
500
robot
parts of the one podcast.
I know, right? TikTok's turning into like the old version of YouTube
Yeah.
where like the anime uploaded in 15
You
three-minute
just
pieces.
watch like TV shows on there, and you just get random like ones that show up, and you're like, okay, this is part 58 of whatever of Young Sheldon, I guess.
I mean, hey, that's how I found Bleach originally. Was through a random bit from YouTube of like their second season.
I was going to say, wait, TikTok? Is the 2000s?
It's
Oh my
time
God.
traveled back to infect the youth.
Now, before we do get stuck in, we do have something to tell you about that's coming up. We mentioned it last episode. Our friends over at Hoshi Events have 2 upcoming events, one in Perth and one in Sydney. The Perth one is next weekend, and it is called Hoshi to the Moon. It's been done in collaboration with the Perth Museum. It's basically like a party at the museum in the massive moon event with a giant moon. There's going to be idols, there's going to be DJs, there's going to be cocktails. It's going to be a lot of fun, lots of cosplaying. If you're interested, details in the description. They do have the Hoshi pre-party for Smash, Sydney's manga and anime show, which is coming up as well. Tickets have just gone on sale for that, and I think the first release is almost sold out already as well. That's going to be at Home, the venue, which is on... Is it Darling Harbour?
Who's home?
Yeah.
Darling Harbour.
Who's
yeah. Home's a nightclub.
Oh,
Yeah.
Last
It's
year
at
they had.
Kenny's house, guys.
Yeah, like last year for Smash they had the small upstairs bar. This year they've got
Yep.
the main bar, like the whole venue.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
going to be pretty big.
Nice.
So details in the description. Go check them out. They're big friends of the show, and we've done a lot with them at conventions and stuff. So like we always love supporting them because
They're
they
good
just
people.
do a good job. So yeah, make sure you check those out. All right. Are we ready? We've got a few episodes, not a few episodes, we've got a few shows to tell you about, and evidently coffee is required.
That's a lot of anime.
Oh, there's so many.
No, I didn't watch them all. Summer anime.
Let's just go down to
We're not going down to the shops to get a coffee. Like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the desire to go get caffeine. I will always take on the caffeine. I love caffeine. It's in my blood supply most times. But we're recording.
maybe we can call for help.
Yeah. Why? Uber Eats?
Yes.
No. More like Uber Yeats. By the
That's
time
where
it-
Kenny dabs.
Is that a dab in 2024?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, no! Oh, he's hit critical dab mass.
It moves slowly. I am very rusty on the dab.
It's like, if you go too, well, look, we're old. If we move too fast, we'll put our back out.
Back in my days, I could do 50 dabs in a minute.
All right, let's get List Beach Boys and start talking about Oshinoko. So, season 2 starts very soon, actually, next week, I believe. And Tifa, this is your pick for the season.
It is.
You bring us up to date on Oshinoko. We do know the goss, but season-wise, what happened at the end? Throughout season 1, what was the premise?
So in season 1, the first episode was obviously the one that got a lot of people hooked on the show, where we are introduced to Ai, who is an idol, a very big idol, and everybody loves her, which is funny because I also means love. And she dies, unfortunately. She gets murdered after she has given birth to twins,
It's a
and
pretty
the twins
harrowing
actually
scene.
reincarnates. So they kind of grow up with like her shadow, kind of, in a way. They
Yeah.
both because they are people that reincarnated as her children, and they're like, they love her because she's like a really amazing idol. We kind of see how they grow up with that and the different kinds of love. And the show, especially like in season 1 and throughout the rest of the show, dabbles in a lot of kind of darker elements of entertainment society and being behind the scenes in that kind of industry as well. So, yeah. And at the end of season 1, we're introduced to a lot of other people within this series, and the main male character, who I've forgotten his name.
Aqua?
Big fan, big fan.
Aqua, yes. Aqua and Ruby.
He's like, such a big fan.
He feels like he's getting closer and closer to finding out who their father is, because that is one of the big mysteries of the show at the moment, is who is the father of these two twins, who is the male that impregnated a young 16-year-old idol who secretly gave birth. And where that goes is what we're going to see next season.
Yeah.
And that is insane. That story itself is a bigger twist than Ai's death.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a huge, huge thing. And the person that is inspired, that potentially might have inspired this character, is also a very big actor. So I wonder if people, when this comes out in the series, will put 2 and 2 together.
Full.
Like I did reading the manga, I was like, oh my god. Especially because a lot of things are inspired by true stories of the entertainment industry in Japan.
Yeah, each of the like major kind of characters in it have an analog to real actors and real stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, other than Aqua and Ruby.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, Aqua and Ruby are the vessel
for the
Yes.
for the
audience.
story. Yeah. But yeah, no, second season's going to be a big deal. Like when both you and I were in Japan, and I think it was only like 2 or 3 months between the times each of us were in Japan, we saw advertising everywhere for Oshinoko. It was insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big deal there. Like there's very few animes that have gone this hard on the advertising game and been so successful. So
Yeah, and I do think that something interesting about this season as well, compared to last season, even though like they have idols, which is very a Japan thing, and the way that they do shows and J-dramas and stuff like that. Most of that we have an equivalent to in Western culture, in Western society. But this season, the way that they do stage plays and musicals is very, very different. A stage play of a anime is so different in Japan, and that's something that never gets talked about at all.
Yeah, like
really,
the 3D
like the
theater
behind the
idea.
scenes. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
I saw a little bits of Death Note's stage play, and it was fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is drama, supernatural, seinen. Doga Kobo is actually the studio doing the animation both last time and this time. They did My Senpai's Annoying, Yuri Yuri, Monthly Girls, Nozaki-kun. They've got a pretty diverse back catalogue, but this is by far and away probably their most impressive visually.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know how many episodes are coming out, and I should pre-disclose that because the new season hasn't officially started in Japan at the time of recording, we do have a lot of question marks on ratings, episode lengths, and where you can watch stuff. There are some where we know there are big shows that are coming out, and they don't have anything listed online for where they're airing.
Wow.
So, it's going to be an interesting season. This came from a manga, at least with Oshinoko, because it's an existing franchise. We do know some of the locations you can watch it. High Dive globally, ADN in France, IQIYI in China, Anyone Asia, and we've got 2 new additions to our list of outlets. We've got some German ones. So there's Akiba Pass TV in Germany, Amazon Video Prime Germany, and Anime Box in Spain. So we're starting to see a few more of these anime dedicated services pop up throughout Europe and South America. We've got a few from them later as well.
Very nice.
Very cool to see. So this will be a good one. It is rated PG. I would say it's kind of like
Who rated it PG?
I'd say it's probably harder than a PG. I'd put it more in the M category. Like there
I
are some.
think that this next season, there's no way it's going to be PG.
Whose P is this G for?
It's for parents to guide children to watch this and then have them have trauma. So
Maybe it's like PG-13 America, which is M here.
yeah.
Probably.
I think so. Generally, the ratings are, when they translate them from Japan, they end up being translated to the American standard. So I wouldn't be surprised. As a general rule, if we say something has been given a PG rating as opposed to a none rating, that means that you want to treat it as an M15 for Australian audiences. Obviously, that will vary for Japan and for others. Yes, I've got something in my eye and I keep poking it. No, don't try and take it out. I need
Don't take the eye out, jeez.
Sorry, too much Elden Ring.
Okay, let's move on. Next one is called Sakuna. I said that right? I didn't say Sakuna. Yeah, cool. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin.
No, fingers.
Yeah.
You're harvesting fingers.
Yeah, so this is Kira Lee's pick for the season. She would love to be with us, as would Aaron, but they're both currently cosplaying at Supernova, and Kira Lee's daughter is doing her first cosplay.
Yay.
So
I got to see
really
pictures of them in the car driving to it. She looks hyped.
Oh, that's really cute. So yeah, this is... we don't know where you can watch it at all. No one has said they're picking this up, but considering this is an adaptation of a video game, which was a really big seller, it's going to be picked up. It's just a matter of who.
I remember seeing it on Steam ages
Yeah.
ago. It actually looks like a really chill game.
Yeah, it's been out for over 3 years at least.
Really?
So, yeah. So this is action fantasy. PA Works are doing the animation for it. It's Angel Beats, your boy Kongming, Sakura Quest, and others. So they've got a, again, wide range of art styles that they can use.
Angel Beats.
Yeah. So this is about a spoiled harvest goddess called Sakuna, who finds herself banished from the opulent celestial home to an island overrun with demons. In the untamed wilderness, she must rediscover her birthright as the daughter of a warrior god and harvest goddess by weathering the elements, fighting monsters, and cultivating rice, which is the source of her power. By her side in this forbidding place is her guardian Tama and a group of outcast humans. Together, these unlikely companions must join hands to tame both the soil and the demons of Hino Island. It looks beautiful. It looks very cute. It is listed as action fantasy, but it also seems to have a bit of a slice of life, happy-go-lucky vibe to it as well. So it looks really good.
I appreciate this. It looks very cute.
Yeah.
It makes me want to look at the game.
This is going to air on Saturdays at 11 p.m. in Japan, starting on the 8th of July. So it's a little bit later than the first set of stuff coming out next weekend. Saturday, 8th of July. I think my maths is off because I don't think the 8th of July is a Saturday.
Too much.
It's not. It's a Monday. So I must have put the wrong date there. Oh, that's what I did. Yeah, it's the It's the 6th of July, the Saturday. Yeah. I got the numbers around there. Yeah.
It's in July.
It's in
We know
July.
this.
Yeah. We don't know how many episodes are announced for it either. Usually at this sort of case, it's 12 episodes. Like 24 episodes kind of seem to be the exception rather than the rule these days. So err on the side of caution, 12 eps. Also should mention that Oshinoko is airing on Wednesdays at 11 p.m. in Japan. It's starting on the 3rd of July. So literally like the day, 2 days after this podcast goes out. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like we're right up against it. It's all coming out. Okay, time for a step back into history. Do you like samurai? Yeah. Do you like the shogunate and diabolical political intrigue?
A little bit.
Do you like running away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The elusive samurai is for you. So this is Emma's pick. It's an adventure comedy shonen historical series by Cloverworks. So we know the animation will be quite nice. They did Spy X Family, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, Bocce the Rock, Dress Up Darling. You know, they've had a really good hit rate, and Cloverworks is like a sub studio of A1 Pictures or a sister studio of them, and they used to do specialty work only, and now they're kind of coming into a studio of their own right. So that means they all are under Sony corporate, which does mean that they've got the backing to do it, which is why they'll get the big songs and so on.
Good.
Based on a manga, it focuses on 8-year-old Tokiyuki Hojo, the next successor to the Kamakura shogunate. He is a young boy lacking talent in everything besides hide and seek. One day his carefree life is abruptly turned upside down when Takuiji Ashikaga brutally seizes power from the Kamakuras, ending their reign. Rescued by a self-proclaimed prophetic priest, Tokiyuki manages to escape with his life. Now he must evade those trying to kill him while recruiting comrades who can help him restore the shogunate to its former glory. It is set during the Nanboku Cho period of Japanese history, and it's a tale of redemption, documenting the life of the forgotten hero that altered Japan's destiny by running away. So, based on historical facts, obviously a lot of poetic license taken, but...
Naturally, historic fiction is... it's a brand of fiction people seem to forget exists.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the Earth is flat, Ken. I promise there's an ice wall there.
We'll talk about this later.
The UN will shoot us if we visit it, so we can't prove it's there. God. No, the Earth is not flat, it's round. Look it up.
So is a coin.
So is a disc.
The Earth is actually velociraptor shaped. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's shaped like an anime girl.
Earth-chan!
Earth-chan isn't flat.
Earth-chan is not flat. There was a whole meme series around that as well, and it's like, but I'm not.
And then they introduced, what was it, Black Hole Chan?
Black Hole Chan. Yeah, that was amazing.
Shows her eating planets.
Yeah, he's like, nom. So this is going to air Saturday night, 11:30 p.m, starting on the 6th of July as well. There's quite a few weekend shows this season that we've picked. We don't have a rating, and we don't know where to watch this one either, but it has been it's part of like Katakawa's staples, so it will get picked up. It's just a matter of where.
I also think that it's probably one of the more popular ones of this season, which I think might surprise some people, but the Japanese trailer alone has over 1 million views.
Oh.
So not the English one, just the Japanese one, where it's just all like just Japanese people commenting and stuff like that. So
nice.
Like people are excited for this.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
I mean, they do like it. Like I remember, like most of the Nobunaga stuff tends to rate pretty well. So, like there is a love of that history in Japanese otaku culture.
Of course there is. Yeah.
I mean, look at your boy Kongming. That did numbers. Like
That was great.
and that wasn't even
That's
about
good.
someone from Japan. He was from the Three Kingdoms in China. Like, come on. Like, yes. Anyway, the next one on our list is Ramen Akaneko, which just translates as Red Cat Ramen. This is Aaron's pick. We thought it was a kids show originally. It is not. It is a comedy by E&H Productions.
I don't know.
We have never mentioned them on this podcast before because they have only had one other show. They were established in 2021, and that other show was Ninja Kamui.
Ninja
Oh.
Kamui.
Yeah,
Ninja
that
Kamui.
was I
Okay.
think done with Adult Swim in the US.
Yeah. Yeah.
There may be a sequel coming to that. There may be not. We're not entirely sure what's going on there.
I
It's a
don't
bit of a
recall
mess.
it.
Yeah. No, we didn't watch it.
Oh.
Well, we didn't have access to it. So
People talked about it though.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if it was good, but the ratings on Mal don't seem too bad. I think it's about a 7.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, considering Mal audience, that's about an average.
7 is pretty much average.
Yeah.
That is just sort of the teenage wasteland of just everything that was. Yeah.
Yeah, Teenage Wasteland. Yeah.
Teenage wasteland. Sorry.
All right. So the story focuses on Tamako, who's found her way into an interview at a ramen shop, but it's run solely by cats. And I don't mean like Cats the Musical live action mess.
James
I don't want to think about that.
Definitely not the special edition, which everyone has been asking for.
Release the butthole cut.
When the feline manager asks if she's like cats, she admits that she's actually more of a dog person. And then the red cat who's in charge goes, "You're hired." She's like, "Good, I don't want you to be, useless." So she was hired on the spot, but her job description isn't quite what she expected. Rather than serving ramen, she's now a dedicated cat caretaker.
So when you say cats, you're obviously not talking neckos. We're like talking actual like full fluffy house cats.
Yes.
And
That
they
stand on hind legs and
on
cook
hind-
their ramen and
Oh, so this is very, very Cat Returns.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So it very much has that similarity to the that Ghibli film, The Cat Returns. Yeah, but yeah, like Aaron's like hella keen on this, and
It sounds
it
adorable.
looks cute.
it does look cute. Also, like I'm pretty sure one of the cats probably is a similar color to him and his partner's cat. So like, yeah, I wouldn't blame them. Liger the podcast cat is wandering around through the studio. He's a very happy chappy because he's nice and warm today. Hi, buddy. Are you trying to get in my lap? Wow,
Accept the cat.
he's literally staring up at me. It's kind
Accept
of
the cat. Move the wire.
Okay, buddy. Hello. Anyway, this is going to air on Anyone Asia in Hong Kong with more locations to come. Once again, a lot of these the streaming lists are TBA. Like there's a lot which just haven't announced it, and it's the further they get into the season, as in like the later they started. The later they started, the more likely it is that they won't have a list of where they're airing yet. This is going to air on Thursdays at, and I kid you not, 11:56 p.m.
What?
Yeah.
What?
In Tokyo. I don't know why. That's the earliest you can watch it. I think in like the Kansai region, it's like 11:59 or something because there's like a news break or something. And
Is this a short form? Or?
I don't think it's short form. There's nothing saying it's short form, but we don't actually have episode length listed. So it could be.
Interesting.
It could be. So this, as with most of these, we don't know what it's going to be rated. We don't know how many episodes, but likely 12, likely PG rating, as is kind of the case for most of these things. Came from a manga. Oh, Kato. But look, it's it's Aaron's pick for the season. I think this will be quite cute. I think this will be quite chill, which is what you want really from anything which has cats in it. Okay. Hang on a second. Can you hear that?
What am I hearing?
Can you hear that? There's something horrible coming.
Oh my god. Run!
My dear friend Nokatan is next up for this season, and this show has been memed to oblivion already.
By the creators as well.
By the studio. The studio released an hour-long remix of just that track. And the song is just them saying the name of the show, My Dear Friend Nokatan.
Like the actual song, there's more to it, but that's just a little, pause break in the middle.
Yeah. Also, it's My Dear Friend is in DEER because they're a dear
was 3
person.
E's.
DEER.
Of course.
No.
No, it is.
Kenny!
I'm gonna have to kill the Kenny today. This is what happens when he meets Elk Girl.
Okay, and this anime, from what we have been able to gather from the visuals of the trailer, it's random as it gets.
Yeah.
Like we're talking Pop Team Epic random. We're talking
Yeah, but
like,
good.
yeah. We're talking like Lucky Star and
Oh, and what My Ordinary Life.
My Ordinary Life. Yes,
Yeah.
Emma compared it to that, and very much on point. It just looks bonkers.
It does. It's been done by Wit Studios as well, which is just like, it makes sense because Twin Engine were the one who were doing the promotion stuff for
And
it.
like all the animation for it is incredible, except for anything involving an actual quadruped deer. It
Yeah.
looks like terrible CGI
Like, on purpose.
to make them look just uncanny.
Yeah, which is, I think, it's hilarious. It just reminds me of like the Combine Harvester from
Combine
Chicken Katsu.
God,
It's like, we've done it on purpose and we know what we're doing. We know this is going to make people talk.
I
But-
swear I have flashbacks every time I hear Combine Harvester.
Yeah,
PTSD.
yeah.
I've got a brand new Combine Harvester.
Okay, so anyway, Wit Studio, Attack on Titan, the first main seasons before it went silly. Vinland Saga, Spike's Family, Great Pretender, Cabaneri the Iron Fortress. They, this is very kind of left field for Wit Studios. They're normally like more on the more serious shows, but look, this is going to be mad. One thing I need to mention. This has an insane list of expected regions it'll be available in. So currently we know Crunchyroll, Amazon Prime Video in certain regions, ADN in France, and Anime Onagai in South America. And then it says, plus additional streaming services in over 140 countries and territories. This is according to the media release.
They're making this one go far and wide.
They're going to go hard with this.
I mean, it's already a pretty successful meme, so everyone knows about it.
Fun fact, this airs on Sunday at 11:30 p.m. And I think it might actually be like tonight. I think the dates I have for July are just wrong, so I'm not going to say the dates anymore, but it's this week.
Yeah.
So this is comedy, gag, humor, shonen. Now, if you have no idea what we're talking about and you're going, why are you guys raving about this deer thing? It's literally the opening line of the synopsis is, girl meets elk and chaos ensues. No one knows Torako used to be a delinquent. All of her classmates only know her as the perfect student, but everything changes when Nokotan, a transfer student with antlers, enters her life. Antlers aren't the only thing strange about Nokotan. Her deer nose can sniff out Torako's secret past. Whether it's at school or the zoo, chaos follows this doe-eyed girl's every step. Torako has so many questions. Is Nokotan a deer, a girl, or something in between? May we never know.
I just like it in the trailer how it's like going full
Amazing.
serious and has the thing come up saying, why are humans not deer?
Why do deer be deer? Return to deer.
Cave
Deer strong together.
Cave deer.
So look, this is going to be huge. Like, this could even eclipse Oshinoko this season because of how hard they're going with it.
And it is dumb.
Yeah.
It is good dumb,
Yeah.
but the fact that this is getting so huge and it's just dumb gag humor.
I think it's because that it looks so unhinged, and we haven't seen an unhinged show like this for a long time. So, and not one with this quality of animation.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Except for the uncanny CGI ideas.
Yeah. Also, because both this show and My Ordinary Life have deer in them in several scenes. In My Ordinary Life, there's like the school teacher who wears a bulletproof vest so he can tackle deers.
Yes, this is an actual thing in
He
an anime.
suplexes a deer in the anime.
It's beautiful.
And there has been a constant crossover between the two of them. So there's like the Bane scene, where he's like, "Ooh," coming from the background. So they've replaced it with the guy who suplexes the deer and then put Nokotan as Batman. They're both going, "Yeah, let's go."
Amazing.
Yeah.
I want them to do an actual crossover episode. That would be amazing.
I know, right? Also, like, they did like this weird inspirational video also it's the other one I linked. So Twin Engine linked the one released on their YouTube channel, the 1 hour version of the song. And then they also released the day after, like, it looked like it was almost an election ad for why you should watch it. So it's got this guy in a suit and he looks like a politician, and then there's the deer girl standing next to him. And it's not anthropomorphic, it's not animated, it's a person wearing a plastic head of the deer.
Oh God, that's
and
weird.
It's all inspirational and he goes, Shiko noko noko koshtan. You're just like,
I mean, it is political season in Japan right
Yeah.
now. They have so many people that are like doing their speeches, putting up their posters
this guy
and
ain't
stuff
running.
now. So
He's someone from their studio.
I think it's just a fun play
Brilliant.
on it. Like they're like, this is the season. Let's
And-
use it.
And everyone in the comments is just like, what is this? The studio is memeing in 2024.
I swear to gods, if they elect a deer.
Yeah. Oh dear. I could see it happening in Nara.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, I could too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So look, this is
no.
going to air on Sundays, 11:30 at night. We don't know how many episodes, but 12 is a safe bet. Based on a manga. Going to be able to watch it a lot of places. So it's going to be good. All right.
Frankly, you'll hear where to watch it.
Yeah,
soon.
look, we're all watching this, but it is Kenny's pick for the season, but we're all watching it. It's kind of like Spy X Family. Every time a new season comes out, everyone on the team's watching it, but Tifa gets dibs on it, sort of thing. Like, you know, we know what we're doing.
She's the one that has the haircut for it.
She does. She has the Anya haircut.
This is true.
Yes.
We shall
Right.
send you peanuts.
So I completely misread this because my eyes are going sideways. Next up is Pseudo Harem. This is not a harem anime despite the name.
Uh-huh.
It is romance slice of life by Studio Nomad. They did Rosen Maiden, Squid Girl, and Dropkick on My Devil. So they've been around for a while. This has not been rated. It's currently only listed on Crunchyroll and Bilibili. And yeah, it's from a manga. Now, I read this manga quite a few years ago. It finished about 2 years ago, the manga. And it's very much like done like a 4-coma, like in the style that K-On! Was originally done. It's very cute. It's very sweet. It's basically about a boy and a girl in a drama club, and the girl creating personalities of like, you know, this is Tsundere-chan, this is Kude-chan, this is Yandere-chan, you know?
Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
Yeah, like, so Eiji Kitahama joins the drama club with dreams of having a harem like the ones of his favorite manga. Rin Nanakura, an underclassman, however, finds herself crushing hard on Eiji and tries on different personas in his presence to win him over. No matter how she acts, one thing is certain, her feelings for Eiji continue to grow. Will she ever be able to tell him the truth and be herself? Yes, she will. It's got a very good ending. It's beautiful. I loved this so much.
Turns out it was the Yandere personality. He
No,
prefers, so
it
she sticks
wasn't.
with it.
No, I believe it was Rin-chan, which is just her normal character.
Okay.
It's really cute. It's just basically about an upperclassman and, you know, his kohai in a drama club. There's 1 year between them and them slowly falling in love with each other over, you know, the different characters and personality traits each of them has. So it's really cute. And it ties in well with the drama club aspect because, you know, if it was just like, you know, she changed between them, you'd be like, she's got, you know, multiple personality disorder. No, she's doing it on purpose. She's not messed up.
Date a girl with 10 personalities. You'll have a harem.
Exactly. Yeah. This is Japan telling all those lonely otaku to settle. Just get one. You're not getting a harem, mate.
Find Kyle in the comments.
What is it like? It was a Abe. It's like go out and reproduce.
I am no longer asking.
So look, this is going to be Crunchyroll Bilibili Fridays at 12:30 in the morning. So Friday morning. So it's going to be part of the overnight, I think, plus Ultra Anime block in Tokyo.
All right.
We don't know how many episodes, but likely 12. I think they've probably, from the manga, because it was a 4-coma, they've probably got maybe 2 seasons of content worth, and that would cover it. So it should be kind of like well-paced if they follow the manga, and there's no need, seeing as it's done, there's no need for them to add extra content. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Hopefully should be good. All right. We need to go somewhat fantastical.
Yay.
Plus-sized elf. This is a short-form series, and I have some reservations about it, and I'll explain in a moment. And it's not because of the content, but it's because of the studio producing it. The studio who's producing it is called Elias, and the only thing they have released is a hentai.
Okay.
It's called Seduced by My Best Friend. It's the gender swap one. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is listed as ecchi fantasy comedy, but it could be more, it could be less. So just take this with a warning, just in case.
I mean, we were talking about this not long ago. It seems like every season or every couple of seasons there is one new anime which is just full-blown hentai that somehow made it past the censors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is this the one?
I don't think this is the one because there's actual H content this season, so it's fine.
I swear to God.
If you don't know what we're talking about, pre-show. But the reason I'm cautious about this is because High Dive's listing for it says it's uncensored.
Oh.
So I'm like, what are you censoring if it's family friendly?
I mean, I don't think it would be family friendly, but I think it would be.
Well, but you know what I mean, like PG, sort of like Japanese PG.
Okay, Japan, we need to have a talk about your PG rating.
Yeah, I know, right? So this could be odd. But anyway, Naokun is a massage therapist and is about to head home for the day when he's saddled with a rather strange patient. This lovely lady has emerald eyes, pointy ears, and grew up in the forest. Everything about her screams elf, except for one thing, her bodacious body. It turns out she left her world, but loves junk food in this one, and now her obsession has caught up with her. Can Naokun help this lovable elf girl lose the weight and keep it off? So the concept sounds adorable, but you can kind of see how it could be taken in a more, shall we say, mature direction.
Perhaps.
It's going to air on Sundays at 1:30 a.m. and that time slot's a little bit telling.
Still, it's just,
Yeah.
how many times have you seen an overweight elf represented in fantasy?
Not very often,
It's,
no.
yeah, it's
no.
not a thing that happens.
This is Aaron's pick, of course. A web manga it's based on. It's going to go on High Dive, and as I said, it says uncensored. We don't know what that means yet. It might just
Yeah.
be like language censoring. It could be just that High Dive say everything on their platform is uncensored and someone's put it there, but nothing else that lists High Dive says specifically uncensored after it this season. So
yeah, it's just sort of like,
yeah.
imagine if you stuck it on, I don't know, Haruhi or something. Uncensored.
Yeah.
What's censored? What's
Yeah.
censored?
True. That is true.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. And it wasn't even down that alley. It was complete opposite direction to do with historical stuff.
What?
The outfits in the Rise of Saturnalia episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Say no more. Say
Yeah.
no more.
It's also going to be on ADN in France, Akiba Pass in Germany, and Bilibili in China, with more expected to be listed going forward as well on the independent list.
All right.
Sundays, 1:30, don't know how many episodes. It is short form, but we don't know how short form. We don't know if it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes. The start time suggests that it should be like a normal-ish one. It's not like at a 11:56 it runs for 4 minutes sort of thing. So yeah, bit of an odd one. We'll find out as it comes out over the next week.
Stay tuned for uncensored alpha and French fry action.
Yes. Now, the next one...
Sorry,
Just wasn't expecting it.
I just saw your face like, what?
I'm actually, now that you've said that, I wonder what their knockoff version of McDonald's is going to be.
Yeah, true.
McDonald's? McDonald's?
Don't invert them because it sounds bad. Put it in your head.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
This is like Jennifer Garner all over
Yeah,
again.
exactly. Now,
about that.
Kenny, this is your pick, and because you and I went through with Emma and watched all of the trailers last night again, just to kind of get our head around all the ones that we hadn't seen trailers for. No longer allowed in another world. I have some good news. Its technical listing is parody.
Yes.
Nice, nice.
We saw the title of this and we're just like, what did he
Sure.
do?
What did you do? So this is a comedy adventure isekai parody. It's by Atelier Pont d'Arc. They did Isekai Oji-san and Gambare Doki-chan. Both
Okay.
great shows, but quite a niche audience.
Isekai Oji-san
Yeah.
was random.
It was wild, yeah.
It was so good
It
though.
was so good. It's from a web manga. This is currently only listed for Crunchyroll. Pulled into an otherworldly adventure with cute sidekicks and superpowers, you'd think Osamu hit the jackpot. Nope. From a time before Pixel, the early 20th century gloomy author just wants to find a quiet place to meet his maker, not rack up XP.
Yeah, it's like, look, I don't normally go in for this whole thing about like trigger warnings and stuff like that, but trigger warning, this guy's a bit self-harmy, just a little bit kill himselfy,
But a bit funny.
a little bit swallow an entire bottle of sleeping pills the second he's told he's in another world? What the hell?
So sadly, his poetic demise is constantly thwarted by the inconvenient heroics of his colleagues. Dive into the hilariously tragic life of the most reluctant hero and author. Now, interesting that they say from a time before Pixel. So that means like before 1980.
So yeah,
Maybe earlier. Like
he's from a time before video game mechanics, and so he's not one of the kinds of people who is like, oh, hey, this is like a video game. I know what to do. He's like, no.
Also, just before I get the hate in the comments, I am aware there were consoles before 1980, but like widespread availability, probably not so much. Anyway, yeah.
Widespread availability and, you know, knowledgeability among
I wonder when the first
peoples.
JRPG was.
That's a question.
Google it.
Oh, Tifa's got it. She's got the Google. She's finding it for us.
First.
The first one, the
JRPG.
first fantasy was Final
Oh my
Fantasy.
god, can I type? That would be helpful.
You can't type. Like,
You should Google that as well. Can I type?
type. The answer, overwhelmingly, according to Google
Dragon
AI,
Quest.
is no. You
it
do
was
not have to
actually
use-
Dragon Quest. What?
Dragon
Really?
Quest.
Hells.
1986.
There you go.
Wow.
I love Dragon Quest, but I didn't think that would be the first one.
So there you go.
Like,
So I wasn't too far off the mark. If he was teleported before 1980, the concept of a JRPG would be foreign to him.
Have you guys seen the Dragon Quest theme park in Japan?
No.
yes.
Kind of amazing.
Yes. My friend went there.
Oh, lucky.
So cool.
You actually have to do quests and stuff there. It's
Oh my
great.
god,
Yeah.
I am so going.
so good.
Is it like in a central location or is it one of the ones out in the middle of nowhere?
It's a
Kinda-
little further out.
Kind of looks in the boonies.
That's okay. We were going to go to what was it, like Edo Land?
Edoland?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The theme park where everything's
yes.
of like the Edo period and samurais walk around and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, so like the next trip's going to be great. It is the honeymoon, so like, you know, we're going to have so much fun.
But so yeah, there's just one scene which actually just made me really want to watch this. You see the adventuring party sort of wandering through a field of flowers, and they're dragging the author behind him who's in a coffin, and they're dragging it by a rope. It's just like, okay, I'm
I
sold.
wonder if there's like a healer who keeps resurrecting him. Because like, no, you're the summoned hero. We need you. Resurrect.
Yep.
So like, I think this is going to be like Konosuba minus the perversion, which
But that's all of Konosuba.
I know,
the heck?
but Konosuba still has like the funny of this makes no sense.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, this Crunchyroll Tuesday nights 11:30 p.m. We don't know the rating yet or the episode length, but as always, probably 12 episodes. We will obviously, if it does get any shows that we've recommended this season do get told they're getting 24 episodes, we'll bring it up in the next news cycle whenever it comes up. So once we know, we'll know. Next is one which is my choice, and I was going to go for that other isekai one that was right next to No Longer Allowed in Another World, which was No One Remembers Me in Another World. And that could be interesting. That's more sci-fi than isekai.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the world has been distorted and yeah, everyone's kind of forgot what happened and they're happy living in this disaster-ridden world.
Everyone's hard resetted except him. kind of
Yeah,
thing.
with like monsters suddenly appearing that have been trapped. And yeah, it's a whole thing, but we're not going to recommend it yet because it could be trash.
Now you can watch that one on High Dive Billy Bill.
I think it's Crunchyroll actually, but yeah, you're not far off. Billy Billy's got everything.
You just randomly reviewed an anime.
That's very true.
Yeah, so Maka-ine, Too Many Losing Heroines. So girls who have failed to win the hearts of their crushes, aka losing heroines, Maka-ines. This is about 3 girls and a guy who proclaims himself a background character. That is Kazuhiko. He accidentally witnesses his popular classmate Anna Yanami being rejected by her childhood friend. Since then, Kazuhiko has become involved with several loser heroines, including Anna. This is a helter-kelter story of youths on the losing side of romance with slightly questionable losing heroines.
Oh.
All 3 of the lead girls have a quirky character trait. I don't quite know what it is, but it's very hard on the comedy side of things.
Everything about it screams like the people I knew in school in like 2006.
No, everything to this screams me love is war, except there is no love and no war. There's just antics in a school.
There's just is.
It's just is. Kaguya-sama is. Look, this is going to be good fun, I think. A1 Pictures, who did Love is War, Your Lie You lie in April. I wrote Parel.
You lie in peril. There's a boulder coming.
You lie in April. Lycoris Recoil, Mashal Erased, and of course Sword Art Online. A1 Pictures done a lot over the years. The quality of the animation's always good. Their business practice debatable. But we already discussed that in a previous episode about the allegations against A1 a couple of years back. This is from a light novel series, so I'm surprised that the name is this short.
Right? What, there was one this time that was like 4 or 5 sentences?
Maybe there's like a like additional line in the light novel when it's printed, and then they decided to get rid of it.
Makaine, too many losing heroines. I met 3 girls who have been rejected and became their closest friend, and now I'm in a love triangle polygon, and I don't know what to do.
Help, I've been resurrected as the narrator.
So look, this is going to air on Sunday morning at... I think it's Sunday morning because it is 30 minutes past midnight on Sunday. So it's either Sunday morning or Monday morning, but
I think
Japan's a little weird because they sometimes go to 1 a.m. and say it's Sunday.
I think that's what I was just about to say, in fact.
So it might be Saturday night. Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday morning. We're not sure. Well, look.
Now I'm not sure. What the hell?
You'll be able to watch it on Monday.
Words.
You'll be able to watch it. Theoretically.
This is going to be on Crunchyroll Worldwide, Annie Plus Asia.
Probably.
Now, Annie Plus Asia, I had to do a bit of digging into this. They actually stream in a lot more areas than we thought. They stream to Hong Kong, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
But it's via partnerships with existing streaming services in those areas. So Annie Plus is Korea. Annie Plus Asia is their international division who does it through like sub-licensing. So it was kind of like VRV with Crunchyroll. Like where VRV, you could subscribe to them, you could watch Crunchyroll and other things.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be like if Netflix suddenly got the Disney catalog off Disney streaming service because they couldn't be licensed in that area by Disney.
I see.
If that kind of makes
It's like
sense.
Disney and Hulu.
Yeah, perfect. Disney and Hulu, yeah. So yeah, look, this I think this is going to be a heck of a laugh. We all know I'm a sucker for romance.
Yeah.
So and
Sometimes some of the worst romance.
Well, look, I'm going through a lot of heartache right now, and not because it's a bad romance, because it's a beautiful romance, and that's the what if my wife was reincarnated as elementary schooler, and it's not that the title sounds really bad. It is not what you're thinking. It is all about the husband dealing with and the daughter dealing with the grief of the loss of his wife and their mother, and she comes back and after 10 years and in a 10-year-old's body, and she suddenly has had her memories and basically kicks them into gear, and obviously they're happy that she's back, but obviously there's something else going on because you don't reincarnate 10 years on, you reincarnate at the beginning. If typical reincarnation, Buddhism reincarnation, doesn't mean you retain your memories either. So there's a lot of questions up in the air, and I'm about 95 chapters in, and I think there's only 120.
Ooh.
So like the big...
You should watch the live action. It's very interesting.
Yeah?
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know there's a
Yeah.
live action.
There's a live action. They did a live action before an anime adaptation, which is also interesting. But the clips from it are really great as well. So
Gotta wonder how good that is. Like, how's the child actor coping with that? That's gotta be-
people love it. People think the live action is really good. They're scared that the anime won't be as good, or that they
Wow.
might play on the title too much, and that will like push away a lot of viewers.
Yeah,
So.
I'm hoping that like it gets proper promotion, that the studio don't change the style and the way that relationship is, because it is not it's not a lewd relationship. This is very wholesome. It's very much about the challenges of grief.
I mean, we've seen like a few live actions from Japan before. I still have good feelings about the Death Note one, despite everything. But what is live action culture like over there? Is it as appreciated? Because I know for a fact it's not over here, for good reason.
I think it depends on the content, doesn't it?
Because
I think slice of life works really well, and people are very happy to see slice of life like that.
I think Love is War did
Death
pretty
Note-
good in Japan.
What was?
Love
Sorry?
is War, Kaguya-sama.
Love is War, yeah. That was really big. Alice in Borderlands, of course,
Yes.
was really good, and people really loved it. Death Note, I think, had a really good reception. Not the Netflix one, the Japanese one.
one.
Had good reception. I think people kind of expect it as well, but like in Oshino Ko, when they talk about it, their mangaka expect it to be bad. Though.
Yeah.
They expect the acting to not be good. So when it is at least decent, people adore it.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, and that must be saying a lot for obviously the adaptation of this. So.
Yeah, for people to be saying that they worry the anime won't be as good as the live action. That's crazy.
Yeah,
think that's
I mean,
interesting,
this isn't airing this season. This is actually next season, the anime. But I can't remember how I ended up going onto this, but yeah,
we were talking about it.
Yeah, but yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting show, and like the manga is like, as someone who's like about to get married, like it's heart wrenching. It hurts a lot. Like it's deeply emotional. So yeah. Anyway, we'll come back to that later in the season. Anyway, let's move on to a death game. Yay, romance to death. So
I think I've seen that anime too.
this is called Tasuketsu, Fate of the Majority. It's an action drama psychological by Satellite. They did Hellsing Ultimate, Log Horizon, Macross, Symphogear, and Helk. Crunchyroll and Netflix currently are listed for this. Their regions are to be advised, and this is going to air on Wednesdays at 1:59 a.m. Yeah, I don't know. I really do not know. Japan, you're weird.
Hey, Kat.
So this is definitely going to be 24 episodes or 25. It's a 2-core run that's been confirmed. So it's going to run for 2 seasons back to back. Maybe PG, probably M. This is sets in a world where one night nearly all of the humans, and it says in town, but I think it might mean in Tokyo and then in the world in a broader aspect. So one night, nearly all the humans in town die all at once. Shortly after, high school student Saniatsu, along with the rest of the few remaining humans, receives a message through a monitor that from someone calling themselves the Emperor. Every night from now on, the missing majority will be carried out, which is the name of like the game. And the majority group of people will die. In other words, at the very least, the remaining human population will be cut in half every night. Can our protagonists survive this game rife with betrayal, conspiracy, and despair? Firstly, like, never mind surviving the game. What's going to happen if everyone's dead and there's only one person left?
Yeah, it's
Like,
that seems very short-sighted and why?
I don't know. So this is a web manga. It has had an OVA before, but it was a 1-episode OVA to celebrate a volume release. And it looked pretty well received. So I think just like sort of like Alice in Borderlands and Darwin's Game, there's going to be something else underlying in this which isn't mentioned in the synopsis, which makes this quite interesting. Otherwise, it wouldn't be getting rave reviews already. So like the manga is quite popular by the sounds of it. We'll have to see what happens. This is Kira Lee's pick. She's obviously I would say she's our spooky girl, but all 3 of you girls are spooky on this podcast, which is great.
Everyone is spooky.
It's like if there's a horror or a mystery show, someone on the team is going to have watched it. So there you go.
So true.
This will be interesting to see how it pans out. As I said, it does seem to be quite popular with the audiences in Japan. It's action drama, psychological mystery. You know, kind of fitting with most of the death games where you don't know what's going on.
Standard death game kind of formula. I'm intrigued to know what the whole gist of the game is.
I mean, we were talking about this in the pre-show, but I do wonder if this is going to be a case where these people, like in Alice in Borderlands, have been taken out of the main world, and then, you know, they're like an experiment group, and they've just been told that everyone else is dead. But you know, it might be that you do see dead bodies littering everywhere. I don't know. Like the trailer is very vague. So, and I think that's on purpose.
Which is good, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get your hands on a bunch of dead bodies. Don't ask me how I know that.
There's a morgue.
Yes.
If no one's there, the morgue is unattended. Anyway, that is a Wednesdays 2 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah, Wednesday morning.
Spooky o'clock.
Yeah, spooky o'clock. Watch it on Crunchyroll on Wednesdays in the evening, and it should be good.
Man, everything's on at such late hours over there.
I mean, this is kind of normal, and like normally when we go through the list, there's a lot of shows which are on like Saturdays in the afternoon and so on, but that's because they're a very specific target demographic, and they're normally G-rated just in case kids are watching. There's not a lot this season which sits in that G-rated section, which is why they're all quite late.
Fair enough.
Because you've got it's like a 3-hour block in the afternoon where they can fit them, and then after that it's all like the variety shows, the news shows, the documentaries, and everything else, and then you get to the late night anime blocks. So yeah. Anyway, next up, it's a BL series. It's called Twilight Out of Focus, and What was it you said?
So it's the Twilight with the vampires and the cameraman's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually not supernatural. It's just a BL romance. We don't know the rating. We do know that Studio Dean is behind it. They did Higurashi When They Cry, Konosuba Season 1 and 2, Sasaki and Miyano, Ranma and a Half, and also Studio Dean actually have a lot of BL or borderline BL shows in their catalog, like Shonen Ai and so on. So look, it could be quite interesting to see their take on it. 12 episodes. This is the only one we actually have a run length for. Thursdays at 11:30 p.m. Based on a manga, Crunchyroll, Anyone Asia, Hong Kong, and Bilibili China. Now, this is set in a boys' school film club. And that's the backdrop for the three tales of romance. There's Mao and Hisashi who pair up for a project and make three promises and draw closer together in the process. The club president, Jin, and a jealous junior named Gichi clash before finding common ground, and Shion, a first-year student, joins the film club in search of a boyfriend and butt heads with Ray until Ray asks him on a date.
Cute.
So, it's a gay boy school.
Yay.
Hey.
I mean, aren't they all a little bit?
I mean, I went to a boys' school, yes.
Yeah. Does Emma know that you're...
Don't tell her about Aaron.
But she listened to the podcast.
Oh, no.
She learned that they were roommates. My God, they were roommates.
They were roommates. So look,
God.
this is going to be quite interesting. We have seen a few BL shows in the past few years get really big. Obviously, Given was probably the most visible one.
That was great.
There have been others which are a lot less visible and a lot more, I guess you could say, confronting for viewers who weren't expecting it.
A bit more gay.
A bit more gay. And look, it's good to see that where these are starting to become normal, and a bit more commonplace, because like this is a huge genre of manga in Japan. Like it is severely underestimated by a lot of people how many people read BL. I mean,
not even just BL, but like the BL doujinshis of other like animes and stuff. There are 10-story tall buildings in Akihabara that is just
Full
BL
of it.
doujinshi.
Yeah.
So it's huge.
It's a big deal. And obviously, some cases those are kind of questionable. Like age brackets and so on. But that's kind of the case of all doujinshi. So
It's kind of the case for all anime.
it's all anime, yeah. Look, Japan at one point had a consent age of 13, and no one's forgotten. So it's that's the context you need to understand for why there are so many young characters.
Let's say no more. Let's continue.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's move on to, I believe, our last one for the season. Tifa, this is yours. It is Mayonaka Punch, a comedy by PA Works. As we said, Angel Beats, your boy Kongming, Sakura Quest, another. Actually, your boy Kongmin really kind of ticks into this, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's also the director of your boy Kongmi, and he also does the soundtrack for it as well. So that's why it's like really banger.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, your boy Kong being really music heavy, you know he's got good taste for this sort of thing.
He's your boy.
Yeah.
Kongmingen. Anyway, do you want to enlighten us on what it's about, Tifa?
Sure. So basically, it's a comedy series about two YouTubers, aka YouTubers, and one of these people is like obsessed with YouTube, like in a way that Gen Z people are obsessed with like
TikTok, yeah.
right?
Oh, God.
So like they really just love that video content and love the idols about it and all that kind of stuff. And when they go to kind of do one of those like paranormal activity type YouTube videos where they're ghost hunting, they find a vampire, and that's kind of part of like what they want to try and make content about, and they're trying to hit that target audience and the million subscribers. So it's kind of like, what if those YouTube videos actually had like that thing come to life? What if that was really real? What if the ghosts were actually real?
What if
they
Owlman was
actually
real?
did that?
Okay,
It's like,
I didn't get that from the trailer because it was just sort of crazy and all over the place.
This is the thing. On the trailer doesn't tell you that there's any supernatural content, but you have a look at the tags and it's got supernatural tagged on everything.
Okay, I'm intrigued now.
What trailer did you watch? Because the trailer I watched told me that.
The trailer we watched just shows the girl getting kicked out of the duo with the sisters and then starting a comeback with a girl who seems hyperactive. That's it.
Oh my god, so it doesn't show the
the
ghost
first
hunting.
trailer doesn't show you anything ghosts or spooky.
Oh my god.
Is the hyperactive
the ghost
girl the
hunting is like
vampire?
the best part.
I don't think so.
Tifa, is the hyperactive girl the vampire?
The pink-haired one, I think, is the vampire. Yeah.
Uh-huh, there it is.
That makes sense.
What is it with vampires and pink hair?
Because they drink so much blood, it's
cute.
like drinking carrot juice. Like it turns you
my
orange, turns you red, or in this case, pink. So she's naturally a blonde, actually, bleaching through blood.
The trailer for it is really, really cool. The art style is amazing.
Yeah.
It's and everything's really fluid as well. I was very surprised for an anime of this to be so fluid in motion. The two voice actresses that play the two main characters is one of the girls is the blue-haired girl from Bocce the Rock, and then the other one plays Power in Chainsaw Man.
Ooh,
so
there you go.
it's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like an interesting duo, and the other voice actors are pretty popular, I believe. They also have the animators from Hell's Paradise, Gundam.
Gundam.
And
Gundam and
there was
Gintama.
another one as well.
Pretty sure that crossover's
Sorry.
happened.
Yeah, it's
They
called,
both started with G.
it's called Space Battleship Tiramisu.
Oh, yeah. God, that one was
That was wild.
And there was someone else as well. So
Nice. So-
it's got a stacked group of people working behind it. It is an original as well.
Yeah.
The manga is coming out like a day before the first episode or something like that, but it's an original series, so we don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. Yeah. This is going to be on Crunchyroll and Anyone Asia Mondays at 10:30 at night. I'm assuming 12 episodes in all likelihood. It tends to be the case, but we'll see. That's kind of it for our
Yay.
list of recommendations. We've kind of blitzed through that quite well, which is good.
There's some good stuff this season, and there's a lot of...
Look, there's a
There's a
couple
lot
of
of
others
isekai.
we haven't mentioned. One I do want to mention is Delacoste Nursery, because it's actually not coming out for a month. Like, it comes out in August.
What was this one again?
That's all.
Yeah, I sent it in the chat late last night, actually.
I was asleep.
Delacoste Nursery is like think Promised Netherland, but instead of it being like a school that's run like, for a farm, it's vampires running a nursery.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I don't think they can't
Okay.
escape or anything like that. I don't know what the go is. That's all I was able to pick up on it. Kira Lee mentioned it, so I thought I'd try and find where it was.
Very creepy. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, the other one which Kira Lee mentioned, which we saw, which is another short form, is called The Magical Girl and Her Evil Lieutenant Used to Be Arch Enemies.
Oh, yes.
It's basically like adorable.
It looks so cute.
The evil lieutenant's doing all these things. A new magical girl shows up and he falls in love. And he's like, I can't fight her. Oh no, what do I do? They go on dates. And it's like,
It's kind of along the similar lines as the Power Ranger who falls in love with the evil queen one from
Yeah.
recent one.
yeah.
That was so cute.
That was really
I
cute.
just forget its title, damn it.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, look, there's a lot this season, a lot more than we thought there was. But I think it's also a case that there's a lot more of a diverse range of shows this season, whereas last season it was like heavy on that shonen stuff. This season feels a lot more varied. Like there's something kind of for everyone, and there's not too much for everyone either, which means that there's capacity for you to catch up on your back catalog this season. Pick out the 3 or 4 which are really doing well, and then I'd say about 4 weeks into the season, so beginning of August, we'll know any of those hidden gems that have popped up.
I mean, I've got a lot to catch up on. I didn't watch as much anime as
Yeah,
I
you
should
got real behind.
Elden Ring came out, man. Shadow of the
You
Erd
know
Tree.
what? Valid.
Look, Shadow of the Erd Tree came out a week ago.
Has it only been a week?
Yes.
I've been leveling up a character
Yeah.
to start playing it, and it turned out that was all
Yeah, okay.
all in vain.
Yeah, because like all of your levels in the main area don't count
They
to
don't
the new
mean
area.
jack. All of the powerful weapons and spells you got, Everything is
It's like
nerfed.
leveling up a player in an RPG game and then being told you have a second strength stat and that's 0. And that's what the only strength that works on these enemies.
Help.
Anyway, let us know if we've missed something important. There is a certain DC associated show which we're not going to talk about because
I mean, there's also Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest, which
Ooh,
I know it's not really for us,
No.
but I think a lot of people will be happy for the show to come back.
Yeah. And it's only really a short run anime at the end of the day. Like, I think it's not going to be a long ongoing show.
And if you want us to talk about those animes, you can ask us to in the comments, and I'll tell you why we're not going to, and then we can argue.
Or
Fight
you
me
can sign
in
up to
the
the
comments.
Patreon and listen to us rag on them. Shamelessly.
You can pay money for us to tell you why we don't wanna.
I don't want to.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Why do we watch that?
Definitely in my top 5.
Season in review.
All right, we're going to kind of blast through this, but we have our top 6 picks for this season. Look, this season was pretty chockers. We had Demon Slayer return, we had Slime return, we had My Hero Academia return, we had
Konosuba.
yeah. Like it's just there's been a lot of returning ones, and then we had all of these new great shows. So first up, Kaiju number 8. This is pretty much like the entire team.
I feel bad for sleeping on this. We
watched 2 episodes.
We watched 2 episodes last
night.
night. I was like, oh, damn, this is really good.
But you guys aren't up to date then, no?
I haven't watched last night's episode. That's the only the
Okay.
finale. I haven't watched it yet.
I won't say anything.
Good though.
But my one quote is, why does that guy look like a starfish when he doesn't look like a starfish in the manga? Why did they do that to him? So if you've watched it, you know who I'm talking about and you know what I mean. If you haven't, then I'm not spoiling anything, but why does he look like Patrick Starfish?
I was going to say, no, this is Patrick.
This mayonnaise a kaiju.
So yeah, Kaiju number 8 is a story about a world where kaijus are regularly attacking Japan. There is a special defense force that fights against them, and then that also means there needs to be a cleanup crew. And our main character is on the cleanup crew, so he knows the insides and outsides of kaiju pretty well. He ends up wanting to join the defense force because of an old promise he made to an old childhood friend, and a series of events result in him becoming a humanoid kaiju who can turn into it and back, and then the adventures begin. What does they say? Shenanigans ensue. Very good. All of us have picked this, but I'm giving it to Emma for this season for her pick, because she said, look, out of everything, that was her number 1.
It was great. So,
Yeah.
fair.
Tifa, what is Windbreaker, and why do I immediately think a can of beans? Like,
Well, wait, hold on. What genre, if you don't know, what genre do you think Windbreaker would be in?
shonen.
Just wondering.
Canned goods
Shonen?
section.
For whatever reason, I thought this was going to be a sports anime.
Yeah.
It is not a sports anime, but it is a sports anime in a weird way.
It's like a, what do you call it? I want to say Darrow fighting anime, but it's not. It's
I mean, kind of. So,
Darrow?
how I would describe it is a martial arts sports anime in the guise of Tokyo Revengers.
Okay.
It is big.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
I have much to catch up on,
But,
yes.
I haven't watched it
Yeah,
yet.
it's very popular in Japan, and because of the anime, it's become quite popular here as well. I think it's a lot of people's favorites at the moment, and it gets compared to Tokyo Revengers a lot, but I do think they're quite different. And the people that are comparing it do say that Windbreaker is better,
Ooh.
which is interesting, but it is called Windbreaker, I think for a number of reasons. The first being that the area that these schools are in is a derelict area. It's really bad. There's crime rates through the roof. It's just really terrible. And the kids at the school decide that they've had enough of the way that this is, and they're going to change that. So it's like changing the wind, stopping the wind, changing the way that this place has always been known. And so they kind of become the protectors in a weird way. Like, if there is crime and they see it, if people are like bullying a shopkeeper and trying to like steal money or whatever. They try to stop it, basically.
Nice.
Because the people, like the police, local police won't do it. No one will do it. So
everyone's
they're gonna
corrupt,
step
and
up.
it's up to this gang of plucky kids
Yeah.
to change this town's way.
Unless they get one more member.
Coming this summer, Windbreaker, rated PG.
Yeah. And the school is called, I think it's like Furin High School. And then they call the gang Bofuri, which kind of means windbreaker as well. So it's a play on their school name and then gives it the English name. And also the jackets they wear look like windbreakers to me. So that's why I'm like, okay.
So no beans or methane extraction.
No beans, no.
Fart jokes in the year of our Lord 2028.
What? Where did the last 4 years go?
Don't fucking know.
Look, that's a Crunchyroll one, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's on
as is
Crunchyroll.
Kaiju number 8, by the way.
That actually sounds really
Yeah.
cool.
It
I'm gonna
does.
have to go back.
I'm
for
gonna
that
have to
one.
go back to it. Aaron has Re-Monster, which, as he previously described, knockoff reincarnated as a slime.
Yep.
Fair enough.
So this is an isekai. It is the guy becomes a monster. So after meeting an untimely death, Kanata is reincarnated as a lowly goblin, but he's worked up a monstrous appetite thanks to his new ability that allows him to grow stronger the more he eats. I mean, that's definitely not from slime. His feeble status quickly changes. He rises to become a goblin leader, and with a mix of his past memories, new body, and strong stomach, he takes a bite out of his new fantastical world. It's slime light, just he's a goblin instead of a slime.
Okay. fair
And
enough.
instead of it being nation building, it's tribal, like fighting a war sort of thing. So, like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure on the whole length of it. I know it's from a light novel, and it's on Crunchyroll, but 12 episodes, it's all out. So, if you want to check it out, go check it out. It's if you enjoyed Slime and you're sad that well, actually, no, you're not sad that Slime's finished because it's continuing this season.
if you like slime,
if you like slime and you want something else,
like slime, you should
but
watch
not
Goblin.
quite like Slime. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have some Goblin. It is not slime, but it is still slime.
If you like blue, you may like green.
Yes.
So there you go. Kira Lee's favorite from this season was Viral Hit, which she touched on briefly last time she was on. This is about a scrawny high school kid who is the last guy you'd expect to start a YouTube channel that revolves around fights. And
This one.
follows some advice from a mysterious NewTube channel, also using the NewTube moniker.
Is this in the same universe?
Yeah, it's a guy who's like dressed like in a giant chicken outfit. It looks really unhinged. It's great.
Is this in the Family
You sure
Guy
that's not
universe?
Oshinoko?
Is it Oshinoko? Is it Family Guy? Who knows? Like,
What the hell?
so look,
Anime extended universe.
so the guy's name's Hobbin Yu, and it's like he's soon knocking out guys stronger than him and raking in more money than he could ever have dreamed of. Can he keep this up, or will he eventually meet his match? So it's Fight Club YouTube edition.
Okay.
Yeah,
Intriguing.
it's pretty popular. It's done well. So
Sounds fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've been watching Konosuba, Kenny.
Hell yeah.
Season 3.
Season 3.
It's a new studio. How does it look?
Honestly, like I can't. It's been a while since I've
Yeah.
watched season 2, but honestly, it feels like same old, same old. It's feels like coming home.
We finally get to meet a load of those characters we've seen for years who've just been like on all the promo art, and you're like, who is she? Who's Cecilia? Who's the princess? Erica, is it, or whatever? It's just like, who are all these people that we keep seeing? And there's like,
They're as bad as the rest of
yeah,
them.
everyone's messed up. It's Konosuba.
This world is
broken.
terrible. God's blessing on this awful world.
So yeah, look, it's more of the same. It's good.
It's like it's not to say that it's just run of the mill. It's that you don't expect what's going to happen. It's just degenerate people in terrible situations. It's what is it? It's this is like Japanese. It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
That's a perfect way to explain it. They're all horrible people.
Everyone is trash.
Except for Yun Yun and Wiz.
No, Yun Yun is Danny DeVito.
Can I go for you an egg in this trying time?
Hey, go.
Tamago. Yeah, also Crunchyroll from memory as well. It's weird because Konosuba has been such a big gap since the movie came out, and then there's been all the issues with the studios.
Follows on from the movie.
Yeah. it kind of felt like it was no longer the right type of show for the current audience.
I mean,
But you watch the first episode, you're kind of like, wait, this was actually funny. This was actually really stupidly funny. Why did I stop watching it? So, yeah, look, go watch. Yeah. All right, last one. This is my pick. Aaron also likes it. So does Emma. Go Loser Ranger. Holy cow.
I still need to catch up on this.
Yeah, I know. So this is the story of how the monsters came to invade planet Earth and the Power Rangers defeated them. And 12 years later, the Power Rangers are still making the leftover putties basically fight them every Sunday as if they're still attacking the world for entertainment of the masses. It is messed up. The Rangers are just as bad as the original villains. And it's the whole world has revolved around this, concept that these are heroes who are there to save them and look after them. There's now like mega organization. So the Red Ranger has a Red Ranger unit underneath him who are tiered and trained. And there's, you join the Ranger Corps sort of thing. It's really, they're called the Dragon Rangers in this case. And there's this teeny tiny dragon which floats around. You're like, that can't be the dragon they're talking about, right? It looks like a chibi doll. I think it is the dragon they're talking about. So all of the boss monsters are gone. So all that's left are the putties. And obviously they can transform into different shapes and all that because they're malleable. And the main character...
they're also semi-immortal.
Oh, yeah, they can't die. So they can actually get completely killed off in the arena and they will, reverse Thanos snap back into existence up in the tower sort of thing. It's pretty cool.
Functional immortality is still hell's because, you're still perishing, and that's a lot.
It's what Kenny says. It's not cool. It hurts. But it's really good. Basically one of these guys who's called fighter. The putties are known as fighters, and they have a letter on their shoulder to kind of let them who's who. So Fighter D decides he's had enough, and when he was meant to go back up to the castle, instead of going back up there, he recombines himself outside of the arena and then decides he's going to go and infiltrate the Ranger Corps. And a lot of things are not as they seem. The Rangers are evil, but there is a lot more stuff going on that's undermining everything. And it's messed up. And, there's also a suggestion that at least one of those monsters who were the bosses is not actually gone.
Interesting.
So it's what did they do? Did they go down and hide on the planet or something after they were defeated? Are they recuperating strength? It's been 12 years.
Are they one of the monsters? Are they one of the Rangers?
Well, yeah, there's so much. Are the Rangers the same Rangers from 12 years ago? Are they it's unhinged. It's great. It's all intrigue, backstabbing, mystery, action, drama. It's amazing. It's and the opening and outro have no right being as good as they are. The opening is every scene, it's a metaphor for how the fighters were being controlled. So it starts with him literally on a giant hand with strings moving him around, and the strings snap and he tries to run away, and then the screen goes all pink for the Pink Ranger, and the Pink Rangers are making him do dance and Sentai moves, using their arms. He runs away from that. There's green arms from the Green Ranger chasing after him. He gets backed into a corner. It's all bright yellow with more hands coming towards him in the bright yellow for the Yellow Ranger. And he has to break through a blue wall.
Very, very artistic.
It's beautiful. And the soundtrack is just schmick. The outro is a dance number where when they do spins, it's five of these fighters dancing. When they do spins, they turn into the Rangers and then they turn back into themselves afterwards. It's so both it's two sides of the same coin. They're both equally as problematic.
Interesting.
It's so well done. This is phenomenal storytelling and visual design. There's not enough of this. I'm I love this show. It is the best. Don't be wrong. Kaiju number 8 is by far my favorite show from the past season, but Go Loser Ranger, just for the production value and the thought that's been put into it, just makes me, wow. Go watch it. Holy cow. Now, if we've missed your pick for this season, let us know in the comments section below.
We'll tell you why you're wrong.
Katie will. But, for that, it's time to jump into the anime news real quick.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
All right. Controversy.
Yay.
This one's my fault. We are the controversy.
Woohoo!
We forgot to mention last episode that Gainax filed for bankruptcy.
Woohoo!
No.
Yeah,
So
woohoo.
it's been 40 years since Gainax was established. It was established by basically students and anime lovers alike to create a studio to create their own ideas and concepts. It's after 40 years, it has gone completely bankrupt, but it's not the Gainax we remember. A lot has changed over the past 15 years in particular.
As it would.
So they were the studio that was behind Neon Genesis Evangelion, Gunbusters, Nadia of the Blue Sea, Gurren Lagann. There's a lot of shows that were underneath their banner. They were founded in 1984. They were built and run by anime fans, also all incredibly talented artists and animators, and they were described as having a unique authenticity and passion that drove the studio's works. Now, outside of Japan, a lot of their animes were, well known. And unfortunately, a lot of the internal mess inside Gainax resulted in a lot of the creators moving off to create their own studios. Kara, Trigger, Madhouse, partially. A lot of different studios have been spun out of Gainax from the original creators in there because they realized they couldn't do anything inside Gainax because of what had been happening to it.
Yeah, there was a lot of shady double
It's
dealing.
been heavily mismanaged in terms of finances. It has multiple sub-organizations like Gaina Studios, Gainax A and Gainax C. Basically, they filed for Gainax Core, if you will, filed for bankruptcy on May 29 and explains how the company came to be in this situation. Their big thing here is that all the intellectual property rights, where they're going to end up is questionable. Like Evangelion is already at Kara. That's fine. That's been sorted. Gurren Lagann, FLCL are already at Trigger. That's fine. Like that's not an issue. Nadia, Secret of Blue Water, and Gunbuster, which should go to Kara because Hideaki Anno was involved in them. It's not known where the rights for those sit. Now, both of those have had recent re-releases for Blu-ray special editions, but it's unclear if that was transferred to Kara or if they're still sitting with Gainax's properties. So there's going to be a lot of questions in the months that come as to what happens for all that content. Basically, it sounds like a lot of dodgy loans were done.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah,
shame.
they were in the news for that not long ago as well.
Yeah, it's Gainax has had a really rough run, and it's because of the people who were put in charge.
I mean, that's also something people really need to keep in mind about movie companies, game companies, comic companies, any sort of entertainment. It's like the people who made the stuff that made these companies ages ago.
Are probably not even there.
Yeah, a lot of them have either moved on, perished, or just aren't involved anymore. So it's like you really should stop putting trust in a company logo and just the work it produces.
Yeah.
Because chances are it is not being made by people who with the best interests at heart.
We had a pretty fiery discussion about this around Doctor Who in the chat. And like
Fight me, Tifa.
So like me and Kenny first saw like the early Doctor of the reboot, like so Eccleston and Tennant and Matt Smith.
Oh heck, I was there for Hartnell. I love that.
And like we grew up with that sort of thing. But Tifa made a very valid point that in the last 10 years, the writing style that we dislike has been the norm. The experience,
almost 20 years.
The experience we had is actually the minority now. And again, if you grew up with that, you can't put the trust in the Doctor Who brand because it's not the same as the one that was done 20 years ago. And that's the same thing for Gainax. It's the same thing for a lot of studios, Sony Studios, A1 Pictures.
BioWare.
The world is changing, and sometimes it's not for the better, sometimes it will be. But what you thought...
It's for someone else's better. It's just...
Well, exactly. I mean, look at how much Star Trek changed over 3 major iterations. Like, look at how Star Wars has changed substantially over 3 iterations. Yep, I know. These things change, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the franchise you loved is dead. It just means that the new content isn't for you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should blindly trust it. Yeah. So, and that's kind of the thing around Gainax. People for years were talking about how even like last couple of years, people were still talking about how Gainax is amazing and puts out all these great stuff, and not really realizing that. I don't think Gainax has actually put out a series that is run by themselves since about 2008.
Ooh.
So it's been a long time. They've been a support studio predominantly, which is wild to think of, but it's because they're a mess. So Gainax explained its financial situation started in about 2012 due to various factors, including managing a restaurant that did not meet projections, establishing a mismanaged CG company, giving large unsecured loans to executives of the organization. Yeah. And running its business operations as if it was a small business personal venture. They said due to a massive debt incurred by management, it was removed. This is from their official statement. It was removed from production committees after not paying royalties. It was sued for debts and other matters.
Yeah, that'd be the one I heard.
During this, many affiliated companies were established under the Gainax name in regional areas, which led to many resignations at Gainax itself and resulted in the loss of the capability to actually produce anime at the studio.
Jesus.
These companies later declared they were not related to the main studio, which Gainax claimed these companies relinquished their administrative responsibilities. So, like, there's a whole mess here. Like, yeah.
What the hell happened?
So they also claimed that Tomohiro Maki, who had been its head since 1992, transferred shares to a person with no knowledge of filmmaking production in 2018, a move that had the approval of management at the time.
Who?
Maki was then arrested in December 2019 for semi-coerced indecent acts, causing the company to completely lose its ability to operate while still being saddled with a large amount of debt. It also meant that guy who transferred, who had most of the shares, who didn't know how to do filmmaking, was essentially in charge.
Who is that?
It's in one of their official statements somewhere. It sounded like I want my friend involved sort of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. So Gainax then, they revamped its management team in February 2020, stated it began reviewing documents to fully understand its situation alongside the studio Kara as a creditor. So they actually then asked Hideaki Anno to look after some stuff for them. The companies discovered large amounts of borrowing from the financial institutions, defaults on debts to companies in the industry, and sales and transfers of IP and product materials to other companies without permission of the rights holders. So this rabbit hole goes deep. Like, they basically gave away the intellectual rights for their animes without permission of the people who held the rights.
Might as well do a whole episode on this.
Well, next episode, we are doing Gainax in focus. So we can dive into this rather deep then. So because of this, Gainax said they're unable to resolve their this large amount of debt, and it was sued by the debt collection company, and they decided that bankruptcy was the only option. So Gainax has no current affiliation with Studio Gaina, Fukushima Gaina, Gainax International, Gainax Kyoto, Yonago Gainax, Gainax Niigata, and Gainax West. So you see what I mean about there being an insane amount of random studios.
Okay, but do those studios do anything?
No, they don't.
What the hell?
Yeah. So Kara has now acquired the Gainax trademark and serves as the manager of the trademark because of it. So Hideaki Anno and his team now have that trademark.
Oh, cool. But
so Gainax also noted that it will provide notification about the future of the works it has managed after the bankruptcy proceedings are over, and that will take probably about 6 months. So that is, in a nutshell, the story. We won't go any deeper. There's even more to it, but that's kind of the top level view. It goes deeper. This rabbit hole is a mess. So
let's do a whole thing about that.
Yeah. Now, another controversy time.
Woohoo!
I need to plug in my laptop. Don't leave me hanging, guys. Make fun of me.
So, how about that Doctor Who?
No.
Don't start getting.
Don't start
Let's
again.
start.
All right.
If we can't argue here, let's argue in the comments.
You do know. All right. There has been a major change at Studio 3 Hertz. They are transferring animation planning and their production side of their business to A1 Pictures. Now, Studio 3 Hertz have worked relatively closely to A1 Pictures on a lot of things. This isn't going to result in any staff losses either. They're just being transferred into A1. Good. Prime example, they are working on Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online 2. This is a spin-off of Sword Art Online, which is A1 Pictures, and has been for a long time.
It doesn't have Kirito in it, which means it's good.
Yeah. So Studio 3 Hertz was established only in 2013 after Matsuka Yuichiro left Cinema Citrus. He also co-founded it with 4 other people from separate well, he co-founded Cinema Citrus with 4 other people. The studio's produced anime such as Princess Principal, Flip Flappers, Sword Art Online Alternative, Black Fox, Dimension W, Devil is a Part-Timer 2 and 3, Marginal Service, A3 season, summer, autumn and winter, spring, summer, like all of the A3 things. I don't get that. We don't know what their legal relationship was with A1 Pictures, but the fact that they're transferring stuff over to them, the anime production side, suggests that they might be looking to shut down.
Could be.
So, like, it's going to be a watch this space sort of thing, but 3 Hertz, like, they're not bad. Like, that's I think the key thing. Like, if this was Handshakers, like, Go Hands, like, we'd be like, thank God it's going. But 3 Hertz has been good, and they've also worked as a support studio for a lot of, like, Cinema Citrus, like, movies and stuff like that. They're good at what they do. So it's a bit of a shame. So, yeah, disappointment.
Oh, well, it sounds like, everyone involved in that isn't going to be tossed out on their ass.
Apparently, the studio is literally just going to move the production team in-house to A1.
Which is...
Yeah.
It could be worse.
I believe the studio's in the same suburbs, so that's also a win.
Wow, that sounds reasonably good, in fact.
Okay.
So they don't even have to, like, change where they live. Like, I mean, don't quote me on that. I haven't went and looked at the street addresses, but they look like they've got the same postcode and area code. So,
yeah, I mean, that is not a terrible ending for everyone involved.
I mean, all things considered. Yeah. All right. No more controversies.
Yay.
Actually, this might be controversial.
Controversy.
Ranma and a Half Manga is getting a new anime.
Yeah.
I say yay because the Urusei Yatsura adaptation was exceptional.
It was.
And the way they approached that was they said, we've got 50 episodes and we are going to pick the creme la creme of the stories from the manga and only animate those.
Do you mean the recent adaptation or the BBC British adaptation?
The recent adaptation.
Okay, good. You guys should YouTube.
No, don't YouTube the BBC adaptation.
You definitely should.
I still don't believe it's real, but it is. But I don't believe it. Like, it's got to be like the biggest prank. It doesn't make sense.
Core, that's a babe.
Yeah, it was so bad.
It's not even that they turned it into an English translation. They turned it into a Cockney English translation.
Yeah. So a new official X-Twitter account opened on Wednesday to announce the manga is getting the new anime adaptation. There will be more information released on July 17th at 6 p.m. in Japan. This is going to be, by the initial information we have, is a full adaptation, like a full, complete readaptation, not of the manga and not of the original series, because the original series made up a heap of stuff because season 1 of Ranma actually got cancelled, and they then had to find a new licensor, so they ended it. They went, he's gone on a journey. And it's like, okay. And then season 2 had to explain where he'd been. And then they had like another 6 seasons and all of them had so much filler that wasn't needed. Whereas the manga has a very definitive end. It is very like Takahashi ending where it's an end but it's not an end, like the story continues sort of thing, like open-ended.
But that's fine.
But that's her style of storytelling.
That's better than like what is in like parts of the anime.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, they finished the anime and then they just kept throwing out these random OVAs every couple of years, and everyone's like, where is this in the story? And they're like, we don't know, we just made it up.
You big on the original anime, Tifa?
Not the anime, but the manga. I read the
Oh, nice.
I was big on the original anime. I found it very early on in my anime journey, around the same time I found Lupin. So this was back when Planet Video was still on the corner. So yeah.
I mean, I'm getting them off. I'm getting a bunch of the episodes off a mate to give to my sister for her birthday because she absolutely loves the kind of old school 90s retro style.
Yeah. I grew up watching it, and then I ended up going, I need to actually read it, and I read the whole thing, and the final arc is wild. Like, but cool. Look, I'd love to see that animated. I don't think they ever animated that arc. So
Tokyo falls into the lake. Tokyo falls into the lake of dead girl. Very unfortunate story.
This is the lake of drowned Tokyo. Very unfortunate story about Tokyo who drowned 4,000 years ago.
So anyone who falls into the lake of drowned Tokyo turns into Tokyo?
New Tokyo.
Oh, gosh.
That's how Kyoto was established.
Dear
Tokyo was
gosh.
established.
Wait, how does it work? Nope.
Toyota only put half its leg in. That's why it's got the toy part of its name.
Jesus, that was a stretch.
That Yeah, it was a bad one. But yeah, look, we'll know more in the next few weeks. But if they follow the same format as they did with Urusei Yatsura, it'll actually be quite good. Urusei Yatsura definitely hasn't aged as well as Ranma has. Ranma still has some problematic stuff in it, but Urusei Yatsura was really kind of like old school, like tsundere. The original tsundere is Lum after all. So yeah.
It was a different time. It was college.
I wouldn't even say it was college. I'd say it was high school for them. All right, let's.
And we all remember how we were in high school.
Awful. Let's talk anime sequels. Kaiju number 8 is getting a sequel. New cast members joining the cast. Crunchyroll has confirmed they will stream the sequel, but at this time we do not have a date. It has only just finished though, so that's kind of fairly commonplace.
I think they said it's already in production.
Oh, cool.
Like
So
they already started production.
potentially 12 months. Yeah, maybe even less. So yeah, Windbreaker gets its second season in 2025. We don't have a date in 2025, but it is confirmed that it is going ahead. Tonbo anime, which is this season's kind of like golf girl anime. It's not, it apparently was really popular in the sport demographic in Japan, but like it's not the same as that Birdie Wing.
I mean, yeah, baseball and golf are strangely, amazingly huge over there.
Yeah. So that's getting a second season. Again, no date for that yet. It's only just been announced. And Tokyo Revengers TV anime is getting its sequel finally set after that film, with a fairy tale mini anime also in production as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that's different from fairy tale. Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm a bit confused. Where's the fairy tale?
The Tokyo Revengers.
Is it
Tokyo Revengers fairy tale crossover?
Yeah,
No.
Doa Revengers, Fairy Tale Revengers, a mini anime with a premise being that Tokyo Revengers version of various fairy tales.
What?
So yeah, it's kind of like Slime Tales for reincarnated as a slime. It's non-canonical, but yeah.
Slime Tales was non-canonical?
I guess it technically was canonical, but it's like this won't be because it's
It
fairy
was
tales. Yeah.
This reminds me of like, for whatever reason, people keep editing Jujutsu Kaisen characters with different Disney princesses and making stories with them together. Like there's Sakuna and Cinderella, and it's like the dumbest stuff ever, and it's so funny.
Why?
So the fact that they're doing this for Tokyo Revengers in a way is just hilarious.
It's just a meme, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a meme, yeah.
What is going on with anime studios and memeing this season? Like, come on.
I mean, it seems to work as a form of advertising, but what?
Does it? Does it?
Shikanoko noko noko kashtantan.
Now, the second... Well, we'll get the manga delays out the way, and then we can talk about live-action news. Good live-action news. So, One Punch Man's manga is going on a 2-month hiatus. It only just came back. Like, we've had like a 2-month hiatus between the last and this episode. So, again, they're kind of being very vague as to why. So I am a bit worried that One, who is the creator, is actually quite unwell, and they're trying to keep it under wraps. So I hope they get better. Anime has got its 3rd season in production as well, but we don't have an official release date just yet. I think it's meant to be 1st or 2nd quarter next year is the estimate. But at this point, they don't know. Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen in a similar situation. That manga was meant to resume last week, is now resuming a week later because the author is still quite sick. Hopefully, look, in all seriousness, as much as I want to know how this final fight is going to end, I would rather, if they need to take a month off to be 100%, do it. Like, look after yourself.
It's like, we want to know how this stuff
For sure.
goes, but not at the expense of the mangaka's health and life.
Well, this is also kind of the thing, like, Gege, he's suffering from both poor health and a strange condition because he's a mysterious, strange person. It's just like, okay, cool.
Hello, everyone thinks that someone put a curse on him because of what he did to certain characters, and now he's just sick.
Wow. Like, it's kind of like when John Safran went and put a was it a Fatma on like the Socceroos?
Yes.
And then, the year he went and got it removed in the Middle East, then like they got into the World Cup.
Yeah.
Curious.
It was so wild. He brought it up. He thought it was hilarious. And he's
John
like-
Safran is Gandalf.
Oh, for our international listeners, John Safran is an Australian Jewish radio presenter who became like, he had John Safran's Musical Jamboree, which was kind of like a
That was
music
great.
show. He looked at really odd records, had lots of little random skits in it. He's just a really stand-up funny dude, and he's got a great sense of humor, and he's just like on a really good moral sort of level. Like his morals seem like really set in stone. He's not going to do stuff just for, exposure. He'll do it because he thinks it's worth doing.
Or because he thinks it's funny.
Yeah, well, he got like the highest level bishop in Australia on his show to talk rubbish.
Yeah. He had a whole series with Father Bob. It was great.
Yeah, rest in peace, Father Bob, because he only died like 2 years ago, and this guy was like ancient. He was the most chill priest I've ever
And
seen.
this was after he did his series, John Safran versus God,
Yeah.
where he like studied all kind of world religions and variants thereof and partook in some wild stuff.
Yeah.
And then he had a show where he's just talking absolute nonsense with one of the biggest bishops in Australia.
Yeah.
And they're just having a bloody good time together. It's
they
great.
went to the pub together. Like, okay, cool. But yeah, anyway, we're going well off topic.
Random piece of Australian culture for you all.
Yeah. Anyway, Strange Condition, Jujutsu Kaisen, delayed for another week at least.
Author cursed.
Author cursed. Yuri is My Job manga. That has also extended its hiatus indefinitely due to the creator's health. It's been on hiatus since May 17.
Is everyone cursed these days?
This is a girl love series, and Black Butler manga has gone on hiatus before its final climax arc. This is, I think, Tifa, you were saying the first time in 25 years or something that it's gone on.
18
years that it's gone on hiatus.
Wow.
So
The fact that it's been going for 18 years.
I know.
It's a monthly manga, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
Fair enough, but still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ex-Twitter post included a statement from Toboso stating that she will be conducting research and making preparations as the manga heads towards its climax. It was originally launched in 2006 with Square Enix publishing the manga's 34th compiled volume on April 26th, just gone. So look, there's a lot. And there is currently Black Butler's new season just finished airing, I think.
which is a continuation of the previous.
So there was Black Butler, Black Butler 2, Black Butler Book of Circus, Black Butler's OVAs project,
Black
Book
Butler,
of
The
Murder,
Force Awakens.
Book of the Atlantic, and now Public School Arc.
Black Butler, The Mandalorian. Black Butler, Next Generation.
Black Butler, Glass of God. I'm impressed no one mentioned that for this season's best. It was terrible. I just don't like it. It's like, cocktail. It's to do with, cocking a leg. And I'm like, no, it's not.
I like that show, mostly
was-
because it upsets you to like it.
Or and a bartender. It's like, tender is in like caressing. It's like, no, it's a man who tenders a bar is in tendering cash. Anyway, enough of my rant on that. Last news item. Live action One Piece second season has unveiled a slew of new cast members that all needed to be unveiled. And to be honest, they all look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, one of the guys does look generic as hell, but and he's playing Smoker, but
he might be okay.
Yeah.
We don't
Makeup
know.
work will make it better.
Yeah.
Like, the costume department for
The
this show.
costume department's
has been
good. Yeah.
And look, first season, I gotta say, it was good. Like, it trumped all expectations for the fact that it's a live action anime being done by Netflix, dear gods. And the fact that it's a live action anime being done by Netflix is why I still won't trust it as it makes a second season.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
because the first season was good.
No, it's not because it's Netflix. It's because it's Tomorrow Studios, because they've done all of Netflix's live
Yeah.
action. So look, in their credit, they are learning. Slowly, like you have to admit that if you compare how they handled, because Tomorrow Studios did that live action Netflix Death Note. If you compare, if you compare the quality of that to Cowboy Bebop, there's a marked improvement.
There's an improvement.
It's not much, but it was an improvement. And again, the next step up was to this, and this is again a marked improvement. So hopefully it means that now they've kind of got their production ducks in a row and understand what fans are looking for. We hope.
And,
We hope.
and the showrunners, at the very least, are actually versed in anime and are big anime fans. Whereas previously, the showrunners didn't really have any like anime knowledge.
Cowboy Bebop,
but
they
the ones
did.
for this one,
Cowboy
did.
Bebop, they did, but they
Really?
also wanted to make something different, and that was the problem.
Stop
Yeah.
trying to make something different out of the thing people like.
Yeah, like don't be wrong. Like, with Bebop, I was like, I'm fine if they add new episodes as long as they feel like the original story.
Same.
But the new episodes they added didn't feel like the original story. So if you're going to expand that universe, you have to do it in the same narrative style with the same character traits, and they didn't do that. So
I
yeah,
hate that show.
yeah. So far, there's, for 11 new cast members announced. So, and one of them in particular, so you've got the people from Baroque Works, which is Mr. 359 and Miss Valentine. All of them look perfect casting. And Tifa, you were saying Campus Johnson, who's Mr. 5, like someone fan casted him like a couple of years ago?
Yeah, someone fan casted him like a year or two ago, and then he actually got the role, which is so crazy because you never see an actual fan cast go through, especially a fan cast of someone who is not very well known. So I think that's quite interesting. I hope he will be good then.
Yeah, same. All of the actors kind of really look the part. And
They do.
Especially as well, the guys who they've done for the Giants, like I'm just like, I can see it. Like they've got the right look. And also like Crocus, just like they just got Clive Russell, who's an old dude. He's like a stage actor. He's good. And he's just going to be like for the whole season. It's going to be amazing. And then the last 4 was Smoker, Tashigi, Wapol, and Dalton. Wapol's actor looks like 100% the right casting. Like, holy cow, that mouth. He looks like he's got a wide enough face to pull off the insane grin. Callum Kerr just like looks like every white, brown-haired male with a beard in Hollywood, unfortunately.
It's a bit harsh,
He
but
looks
you're not
like
wrong.
he might be like tall and like big built.
Yeah.
Like he might be the right type of build,
Yeah.
which might be why they went for him
Yeah.
as well. So.
I mean, look, I haven't seen him in anything. I can't judge, and I also can't judge because I am a generic white male with brown hair and a beard. But I wouldn't cast me. But look, he looks like he's got the right facial structure for Smoker. Like it's the hard jawline.
Very strong.
And, it's very strong. And Smoker does have like a little bit of a light beard on the chin, and based on like the pictures we've seen of him, he's got the same type of swept back hair, short. If they make it all white, it'll look good. Not the beard though. The beard has to stay black. Like if they make the beard white, it'll look good.
This is just their headshots.
Yeah.
This isn't them in
yeah.
costume, in full
Yeah.
makeup, which I am keen to see.
Yeah, actually, I'm really looking forward to when we do get an actual like whole cast shot, because they'll do it. They'll get everyone together and do a big one when production finishes and have everyone together going, hey, and it'll be awesome.
Like that is the other thing I will say is good about One Piece is that the cast seem genuinely bloody happy to be there.
Yeah.
They seem like they're
they
having
do,
a great time. They love the material and they love to engage with it. And, that seems to that gives a sense of faith and to the passion that they're giving.
Well, something of interest as well is that the second season is adding Joe Trasses as a writer, executive producer, and co-showrunner. He did the recent Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Was that?
Oh yes, that's right.
And that was apparently quite good. Like
Okay.
Percy
It
Jackson
was
fans
well received.
really like it.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
If it's faithful to the material, then maybe
Yeah.
he will bring the same kind of dedication
The
to the
thing
material.
is they're not actually losing anyone either. So he joins the first season's writer, executive producer, and co-showrunner Matt Owens, and the previous co-showrunner Steve Maeda is now going to be the executive producer. So they're keeping it all in and just adding to the talent pool that they can draw from. So maybe that'll mean we get a 10-episode season as opposed to an 8. We'll see.
That does.
They originally wanted 10 episodes for the first season, but I think I can't remember what it was that happened, but then they said, oh, we have to shorten it, probably because they didn't believe it was going to be as popular as it was. So they did condense it, which I think is interesting, because then you've got at least another 2-hour episodes worth of other footage that they cut down.
I do wonder if potentially it was when they saw the bad reaction to Cowboy Bebop,
That'd be it.
because that did come out during the middle of
possibly.
their production. So, yeah.
And it died.
Yeah.
It
Look,
died hard.
I feel bad for the actors because they were all good actors. It's the
Yeah,
editing and the
yeah.
scripting that let them down. Like I showed you how I showed that in that
Yeah.
video how you could make Vicious so much more threatening. And yes, Vicious is a cringy edge boy in the original anime, but you could have made him a truly fantastic villain by limiting what he said and just making him menacing. And then, make him cringy at the end, and then you
Less
feel
is
excited
more,
for defeating
yes.
him. Like, degrade him as he starts losing his mind. Either way, we're expecting filming to begin in June, so this month for live action season 2 with a 2025 release date. Now, once again, I hope Tomorrow Studios are listening to us. They won't be, but like we gave you grief last time, we're going to do it again. Don't mess this up.
Yeah, it's
Okay, you've done it right the first time. Don't change the recipe. That's like saying, oh, this recipe said that you needed me to use beef stock, but I used Nutella and it didn't work, so I'm rating your recipe 1 star. It's like, dude, if you follow the instructions, it'll work. So
yeah, it's not hard. It's like there is a reason people love the original stuff. When you come in and change it to your own thing, people aren't going to react well to that. If you want to do your own thing, make your own thing.
yeah, and I mean,
I think that's.
this is the thing. We've always said that if you're going to do a live action, it has to add to the original, but it has to add to the original in a constructive, positive way, not just throw in like virtue signaling or characters who don't belong there.
Yeah, Witcher.
The other thing that's like really helpful with One Piece in comparison to the other like live action adaptations is Oda is a part of the production team. He is the one that is part of the casting, which is why we have such like realistic casting as well. Even if like there is some differences, you look at Luffy and you're like, I can't see anyone else playing that guy in a live action.
Yeah, that was the thing with Cowboy Bebop. They ignored the creator's notes.
Well, Watanabe was meant to be on board as an executive producer, but that role was then changed as to a production advisor, and then they just kind of ignored what he said. And then they kind of did the same thing with Yoko Kanno and the music as well. Like, like there were a lot of issues with that, and hopefully this has made them realize that they have to, if they want to actually create something that the people who like the original source material like, and that will attract a large audience, they have to honor the original. They have to be respectful.
Appeal to the people who made the thing successful.
Yeah.
You fools.
Yeah. Anyway, enough ranting and raving. We've done enough of that this week.
No, more ranting.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Now let's talk Doctor Who.
There was meant to be a sting there. I'll have to put that in post. That's where we're going to leave things for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Next time, it's going to be Studio in Focus with Studio Gainax.
Yes, it's going to be a deep dive.
Yes. How did it start? What led to its downfall? Where have all of those rights ended up? How many studios have been spun off it? Is it a tale of mess filled with egos, corruption, and as Evangelions Misato would often say, plenty of fan service. So, look, it's going to be a wild ride. It'll be an interesting discussion as we look at how the studio kind of grew and then fell from fame, I guess. Now, if you have enjoyed what you've heard, well, subscribe to us for future episodes. As an added bonus, there's a packet of Big Katsu hidden behind the subscribe button if you're the first to get to it. Sorry, apparently it's already gone, sorry. But still press it. You might get something else. Like, Big Katsu's a delicious treat.
Great, now I need Katsu.
Oh man, I made the most amazing katsu curry last night.
Gimme.
Yeah, I've actually got some in the freezer. I'll give you some if you want.
I need to go to work soon.
Do you want to know what the trick is when you're cooking the chicken? This is way off topic. Half butter, half olive oil.
All
Okay.
right.
Holy cow, I have never made a chicken katsu that tastes this good. Like,
You heard it here first, folks. Where'd
Yeah.
you get that?
Gerwitz, which is a German spice manufacturer in Melbourne. Yeah, that's what they make a Japanese curry powder, and then they give you the instructions to how to make it all the way. So you don't even use like the packet stuff; it's from scratch. So this is spices, grated apple, the whole lot.
Wow.
Yeah, I've made it twice now, and both times, both me and Emma have just been like, "How is this recipe so good?"
Kawaii-Fi cooking show.
Well, we didn't.
Oh my god, yes, let's do it. Dungeon Meshi.
Actually, Keitha, you're here next week, actually. So it won't come out next week because we'll have a little bit of time to do the editing, but we are going to do another Kawaii-Fi tries. or a Kawaii tries, as we like to call it. And it's all of the stuff that I bought back from Japan last year.
Wait, is it still
It's still in date. It's still got another year on all of it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive. It's a Kit Kat. Come on.
Yeah, she'll be fine. It's Chicken Katsu.
Don't poison Tifa. She is small. Takes her longer to recover from
I
poison.
can take it.
Is that give me chicken?
I said I can
You
take
can
it.
take it. Now, look, if you would like to catch up on that, we also have the YouTube edition of this podcast, dedicated videos on that channel. That's where it'll all go. Links in the episode description. You can also watch us smiling like nutters on there and me coughing off into a corner in this episode when something suddenly fell into my throat. If you would like to support the channel, there is also our Patreon. We have a new Patreon. His name is Kyle, and he is not me.
Hi.
Hi,
Other
Kyle. Thanks for supporting
What
us.
is your opinion on Monster Energy drink and drywall?
He's probably the same as me. Punch, drink. Yeah, like, come on.
Drink the drywall.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should meet up and join that biggest gathering of Kyles ever constructed. Like, it'll be great.
I remember that.
Yeah, it failed. There was apparently a bigger gathering of Kyle somewhere. So, I don't know. So, look, if you would like to support us, you can sign up there. You get access to the pre-show where we talk every episode before we actually turn the main mics on. We talk a load of trash, plan the show, and are just generally unscripted
Uncensored.
yeah. It's not for children. If you can't afford to support us, it'd be greatly appreciated. But obviously, times are tough at the moment. If you can't, look after yourself first. We're fine, okay? Now, if you would like to join the Kawaii-Fi community, socials, they're there. Go do them. Still using Twitter, but it will be getting discontinued this year for us. So we haven't set a date. I need to set up the website first, and that's what I'm planning to do over this year when I actually get time. I'm planning a wedding already, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can find us Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, we're on it.
We are on the internet.
We're on the internet. So is Tifa. Links to her channel are in the
Yes.
episode description too. Make sure you go check her out. You've been doing a ton of cool stuff over East, so very excited. How was Minions?
Minions was Minions.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Tifa got invited to the Australian premiere of Despicable Me 4, and she's like, this is not anime, but Japan loves Minions, so I'm going.
They do.
There was a lot more K-pop than I thought.
Oh, really?
In the movie.
What? Well, look, Japan is obsessed with Minions. It's unhinged.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's
there is
crazy.
Universal Studios Japan has an entire area dedicated to the Minions. It's as big as the Harry Potter area.
And then people walk around in the Minions like costumes and everything.
Japan is turning into Facebook mums.
Yeah, look. That's better than the AI Minion memes.
That is true.
Yeah, like that. This was even before like AI became popular. The AI Minion memes were a thing. It was just like, this is like, they're using like the first version of DALL-E, the AI model, and it was just like, this is Minions on crack. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Oh, side note, something that we didn't mention in the news is that Chainsaw Man's author, Fujimoto, his anime film Look Back has just been released in Japan, and it has incredible ratings.
We were looking at
it
last
currently
night.
sits at like a 9.5 or something on
We
IMDb.
accidentally watched the trailer last night. So we were watching the trailers for the new season, and we didn't hit stop for the next one, and it auto-played, and we were like, what is this?
It looks gorgeous.
Read the manga.
Yeah?
It's so good. It made me cry. Also, Hideo Kojima, his review is up now of the thing, and he said that the rich expressions and sensitivity surpasses even a live-action film.
But this is Kojima, and he's not even going to reprise his role as Hideo Kojima in like his own game. So like, this could mean anything.
But everyone
I mean,
all thinks the same, that it's
That is-
amazing.
that is
but I don't think it's getting an English release, like a Western release, because it's technically a indie film. It's like a small film. It's not a big production. It's a small
Is it
production.
better than? Is the writing better than Chainsaw and Fire Punch?
I would say so, because it's shorter.
Okay, cool.
And it's like his other one shot, it's women.
Yep. No, this is something we discussed last episode, that he can't write men very well. They're very one-dimensional, but he writes really good female characters, and that's both in Chainsaw Man and in Fire Punch. The female characters are always the more interesting characters. It's not, just that, they're pretty. They actually have more background and story to them than the main characters. And that
That being said, that is used to his advantage in Chainsaw Man in comparison to
Yeah.
Fire.
Poor Denji. I'm up to date as well. I want to give him a hug. That boy has so much damage. Oh my god.
So stuff to look forward to and be sad about in Chainsaw Man.
Mostly be sad about.
Yes.
Mostly be sad about. Yeah, it's messed up. Like,
It's messed up.
yeah.
This is why it's not printed in Shonen anymore. That's why it's only
Yeah.
online. Because of content.
Too heavy. Yeah. He's kind of taken it from like the M into an R area, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't think it's a bad thing, but yeah. Anyway, look, we'll talk more about Chainsaw Man another time, because we always do. You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time,
watch some anime!
You guys should argue Chainsaw Man in the comments.
No.
No. No.